Whizzer on you. Go down. We're back in this position. This is a really common position wrestling, you guys. If Doyle shoots a single, he wants to stay on the leg, get the angle, get the backside. He don't want to come around the back. But if you end up around the back, or the guy pulls you around the back, you got to have some options, such as step behind limp arm. You got to bump into him better. It's all about timing. Nolan, I think this move would be good for you on the limp arm. Doyle, do again. Bump, limp. I got an idea for you, Nolan. You know how you take that long shot, you get sprawled on? Get a shot on Doyle. Right arm, yep, sprawl, sprawl. Right here, post a hand, step behind with your right foot, limp arm. Now, you're waiting too long. Sprawl. Okay, now right here, just step with your right foot, a little further, you gotta step over his leg. Stop. That's where you're gonna limp from. Beautiful. Try that again. So you shoot a double or single and you get sprawled on. And instead of holding on, like a lot of you guys do, he's gonna recover position, get the angle, limp arm. Do what Coach Schulman just did. You know how Coach Kroll says never finish around the waist? That's so the guys don't do moves like Doyle's just doing to you. Get in here again. Sprawl. Boom. And you know how Coach Schulman teaches to wrap the ankle or shin on the dump? You should do that on this too. Don't just go to the knee. Wrap his shin. Wrap his ankles. Right there. Stop right there. Let's go back a step. That's good, you guys. Right there is good position. Lock your hands, put your head down. Some guys like that position. If you could finish that, like the guy from Maryland that dove in there in that crappy double, you were pretty far extended, but you sucked it in and finished up. If you're good at holding on from far, you can do that. But most people like to post a hand and circle. Step behind limb. That was good. Same thing, do a square up, split the middle, sit to your butt like Kroll showed. Sprawl? No. You're doing it still, Nolan. Doyle's just sprawling. Sprawl, square up, middle, sit through. Boom. You like that? Did you ever do that? You did it good. That's what Coach Kroll was trying to get you guys doing at drill yesterday. In there again. Recover position, knee slide, sit through.
I don't see why that's advantageous there to just split it traditional.
He claimed that because you guys can grab your ankles, get there again. David,
I know David Taylor does that, but he's got friggin' insane reach and he's got unbelievable hips.
go ahead. I don't know if the hips have a lot to do with it, but
I'm just mat awareness. I guess mat awareness is better.
yeah, you got to be able to win the scramble. The argument Coach Kroll made last night is that if you do a traditional split the middle, there's too many guys funking and grabbing ankles. So if you split the middle, okay, you got to finish clean. You know, the move I showed last week in State College was what Nolan's starting to do right now: cross ankle reach, set down, turret, slip head. I like that. And I understand his argument. I actually don't feel comfortable going to my butt. I would never do what they're doing. Like I would never sit through all my butt. But it's just something to play with. Some of you guys may be comfortable with it, like Nolan did pretty well there. Go ahead, sit through.
I wonder though, not to reject, if Doyle's reacting a little bit, it seems like Nolan's balance would be terrible when he goes to his butt. Like if Nolan goes to his butt, Doyle's wrestling a little bit, it just, I don't know.
I don't know either. You have to play with it. I mean, for the last 30 years, the main way to do it, in here again, has been just to come up here. And then, now when I was a kid, you could figure four the head, so it was a less prevalent move. And then when they outruled figure four in the head about 15 years ago, or maybe more than that, it became more popular. And then guys started to lock around the waist and trap the arm. And that's a big hassle. Like it's stalemate city, or Doyle could roll it through, jump off, roll it through, rip through the scramble.
Yeah, if the guy gets your arm, it's definitely difficult. It seems like you can get your arm straight, but I don't know.
You'd be a lot harder.
I think as long as you come up, split the middle though. I think as long as you come up, right there. Let's go no arm first, just locked. I think that's all well. You agree?
I think it's a good position. I mean, it's worked for a long time, and I like that thing I showed last week where you go cross ankle, put him to a hip. Again, Dave's argument is guys funking and grabbing ankles and stuff. He's just messing around, but you can play with it if it works for you. You got to have David Taylor, the guy who does it. He's got unique mat awareness. He's very good at scrambling and finishing that position. But his argument's the same. He showed this at our house 2 years ago. The year David redshirted, he was assistant coach with me and Ian at our home training center, and this is one of the moves he emphasized. He would, instead of going to his knees and split the middle, he would do a sit through. But Ian's point's really good. If you're not good at that position, you're uncomfortable there, don't do it. Don't put yourself in positions you're not comfortable in. So this is way more wrestling than most you guys need to know. I mean, you just got to be able to do basic stuff and split the middle and finish. But as you get more advanced, you play with stuff, you know, these guys are doing pretty good right there. There's another position I wanted to work on in addition to the limp arm stuff. Well, let's quickly review the other positions for the seatbelt. Somebody get a seatbelt wizard. The other ones, you guys, Doyle did 3 or 4 over there last week. What were they? Snake! Back up. Shoulder crunch. Boom. Any other takers? Fancy move? Roll through. Bam. One more. I showed one more. What else, guys? What else can you do? Who's ever heard don't step over a wizard? You should not step over a wizard. You should not step over a wizard. Unless you do it very quickly. All right. You better be badass if you do that. Yes, Samantha.
Grab the wrist.
Absolutely. Seatbelt, far wrist, pancake. I like far elbow, pancake. Yeah, it's a hand play.
You can do that also, Doyle, and get your inside knee inside no one's knee and sweep them, and that'll help that.
So if you're going to try to bully him, get your hip in front. Really, the guy who gets the hip in front wins that position. If you have a seatbelt wizard, it's pretty much a neutral position. If Doyle slid his right knee in front, he's winning. If Nolan gets his hip locked and steps his hip in front, start crushing him, Nolan. Start crushing him. He's winning. Doyle's winning. It's a battle right there. The guy who's got the high hips and the high head is going to win. It's kind of like scramble. It's kind of like the rules of scramble. High head, high hips wins. That's what you want. If Nolan lowers his head just for a split second, bye-bye.
The other thing I think you can look for is go back where you were. If you start battling hip to hip, a lot of times that wizard will get loose, and you can slide back down the leg, which would work anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, to be clear, you'd rather have a single leg than a seatbelt.
Absolutely. A lot of times, though, when you're battling the wizard against seatbelt, the guy's not really cognizant of his leg when you get back down to it.
You guys get it? Any questions about that position? So that's some good time spent on seatbelt wizard. I mean, we could do whole lessons, and we just did a whole lesson. That's the position you're going to be in. You're going to be in your wrestling. What's another position you're in a lot that we didn't cover this week that is a really important position? Anybody think? What's the name of the one-legged counselor that's been here now for the past few years? Graham. What positions he get in a lot? The Graham position. All right, the Graham stuck underneath. So Doyle gets stuck underneath. And the guy front headlock or underhook, so you got to have stuff in here. You guys get here all the time. And a lot of you guys are terrible underneath here. You got to control the elbow, Doyle, and circle the side of the elbow. All right, you can do the outside carry dump that Coach Schulman shows. Right there's a good one. Dump. If he's got a front headlock on you, you can sucker drag. Remember I showed this stuff the other night at the end of prize fighting? There was this position. All right, this time you're going to spin through, pin the shoulder, get the wrist with your right hand. There you go. Pin the shoulder, get the wrist. Nolan, your turn. Underhook or front headlock, elbow control, spin through. No, spin under. Yep, pin the shoulder, get the wrist. I want you to get the wrist with your free hand. Break his arm. We call it arm breaker. Grab his wrist. Arm breaker. Yeah, but you want to pin his shoulder out at the same time. Doyle, get it. Pin his shoulder, get his wrist. Right there, stop. Break his arm a little bit. So you crank in that arm a little bit, then you hook his back foot. Hook his back leg. Oh, you gotta go. There you go. That's a good out. That's a riskier one, though. Anybody ever heard, I bet you Coach Schulman, does anybody besides Coach Schulman know what a lot of people call that spin under move? Yes. Yes. Coach Schulman, do you know the history of that move?
I knew it was called a Syracuse, but tell me the history.
I don't know.
Oh, no, I don't know the history. Obviously, it must have originated up in Syracuse.
I guess. You went to school there, they didn't teach you that in Syracuse history class?
No.
But back in the 70s, the Syracuse and the Navy were popular wrestling holds. Here, let's see a combination. Go stuck underneath. You can hit a Syracuse, stuck underneath. Spin under, that's the Syracuse. Break him down, pull him down to a hip, get a Navy. Pull him down, get a Navy. With your left hand. Reach through there, pick it up. The Fendoni right there. So some of you guys were going to mess with that earlier. Who's heard of a Navy ride? There it is. So that's still pretty common. But it's not as common as it used to be. What's happened over the last 20 years is there's more videotape. People are studying more wrestling, learning more wrestling. You guys are going to camp, you're learning all sorts of stuff. so you don't see as many of the same move. You see more variety. But the Fedoni, the Navy, used to be around a lot. Can't believe I'm calling that Fedoni out. Fedoni's a kid that grew up coming to our camp that his expertise is Navy rides. So we call him Fedoni son. Anyways, back on task. Nolan, you're stuck underneath. You get to do the whole series. Front headlock counter, elbow control, sucker drag. What, no? Sure. They go together hand in hand. Start dumping him. Start dumping him. He doesn't go for it. Sucker drag. Good. Go for a sucker drag. He counters. Sucker drag. He counters. Dump. You see that? Them's the main two. I don't know if that's proper English, but that's proper fact. The two main moves in that position are dump and sucker drag. Dump and sucker drag. The spin under, that's a little riskier. It's only good if you're good at it. Go, Nolan. Boom. Pin the wrist. Grab the shoulder. Sweet. Now, a couple other little tricks. We'll get stuck underneath. Don't get choked, but peek out really hard and then change your double. You've got to make sure you run through the guy's choke. Because there's another move. Nolan, get the front headlock and do what I call a wrench, or Coach Herman calls a copa. Jack him up in your armpit, choke him, stick him. You guys that wrestled me this week are mostly familiar with this move. If I had to use this move on you, you're pretty good. If I didn't have to use this move on you, I'd probably kill you anyway. But anyways, getting there on a front headlock. You pull it up in the armpit, you choke him, you whip him over. And that's a good move. Coach Herman's real good at this. Nolan, remember at winter camp last year, he calls it a copa? Copa. But Doyle, see if you can peek out, peek that position. Ready? Wrestle. All right? So it's tricky if you're going to peek out. Now there's another move from the front headlock in there. Doyle, you're going to fake a peek out that way, and then you're going to elbow out this side. Sweet. That's a really tricky one. If you guys have good duck unders and good agility, that's a good counter to a front headlock. Look at it again. You peek, you fake a peek out of the choke side, and then you change these, elbow out. Some of you guys know this move from a single leg finish position. Doyle got a sweep single, and Nolan square up, square, 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 peek out. Boom. It's the same move, but instead of doing it to finish a single leg, you're doing it to finish a front headlock counter. Brende, you guys follow that? It's a lot of wrestling right there. Another move you've seen on video at least twice this week from a front headlock. Get stuck underneath Doyle. You are king. Nolan, you are Andrew Howe. Here we go, Doyle. There you go. Lots of good stuff. Countering front headlock. So we've spent a lot of time doing snakes, doing front headlocks. Here's some counters. You guys have been really attentive. Anybody have any questions? Let me start breaking guys out.
Show the sucker drag again.
Sure. Here's the situation. The sucker drag is a counter to a front headlock. Everybody needs to understand this move and be able to do it. Because if you got, it's good to do, but it's also you have to be aware of it if you use a front headlock. So Doyle gets stuck underneath. Nolan's got a front headlock. Okay. A, control his elbow, don't let him choke you. Okay. B, circle inside the elbow. You never want to be on two knees. Okay. What are you doing? Are you writing something down? Yeah. Okay. Look here at his right ankle. He's got to be aware of Nolan going for that right ankle, so he can swing that ankle under as he circles. Don't let the guy get your ankle. As he follows you, you drag out. You don't reach across for the drag initially. You control the elbow and then circle for the drag. Yes, Joey?
Are we done prize fighting too?
If you're lucky. Got it? Got your crown? All right. Open drill in for some guys.